Hello everyone, this is Hussein Sadruddin. I'm the managing attorney of Jaime Barone PC. It's time now to ask some questions and also to give you some additional information. We do this monthly show to kind of provide some immigration related questions and answers to you. So first what we're going to do is we're going to start off with some updates for you. First update, DACA might be back. I know we have talking about this for a while, but deferred action, the rumor out there is the White House is going to be issuing a new proposal on deferred action. Remember, DACA was always there, but then there was a judge, Judge Hannon in Texas, who basically blocked new DACAs from coming in. Well, the hope there is that they're going to come up with a new proposal which will allow these individuals to be able to apply for DACA. What does it have, what it doesn't have? Well, what it will do is if this goes through and the judge allows it, it will allow individuals to file for DACA for the first time. The rules remain the same, so there's no change, which means you have to show that you were here in you entered in 2007, that you were here in 2012, that you have a GED or high school diploma of some sort, or are currently in GED class, no major criminal issues. All of those things will remain the same. So for those individuals who are thinking about applying for DACA, think they qualify, start gathering your documentation, because remember, you'll have to provide documentation showing that you've been living here consistently since 2007 till today. So we need a lot of documentation, mostly for every year. So if you think you qualify, first things, very important, this is not a law yet. This is a rumor. There's a lot of information out there on that one. Don't file anything. Do not waste your money. Do not file until something comes out. Second, a judge has to approve it, okay? And if that happens, then you'll be ready to file those applications. So that's the first thing I wanted to share with you. Second, something that came out that I think is going to be really important for the folks to know. We had talked last month about this Doyle Memo, the priority memo by the United States government that says that there are some people who will be able to get their case renewed. If they had a prior deport order, they may get some discretion from the United States government. If you have a case in deportation, they may be able to assist to pull it out. Well, there was a judge, again in Texas, surprisingly, who basically blocked that decision. And then thereafter, the Fifth Circuit with the appeals court basically said it's going to remain blocked. So what government is now saying is that they may apply discretion in some cases. It's going to be a case-by-case decision, but it's not going to be under that memo that we talked about, the Doyle Memo. So that Doyle Memo is kind of not there anymore. So if you have a case that you had already filed under discussion with your lawyer or with our firm or anything like that, they may still consider it, but they're going to consider it case by case. So if somebody tells you now, hey, you can get your case opened or terminated under Doyle Memo, unfortunately, it's not going to be the case anymore, okay? Third thing I wanted to talk to you about that we have gotten a lot of questions about, but I'll talk very generally about. Immigration has come up with a new memo that says some people who were previously barred from applying for a green card or something like that may now qualify. This is called the 3-10-year bar. And let me explain to you, it's very, very confusing. Basically, there are three different types of bars for people. Number one, if you came to the United States, you overstayed, or stayed illegally for more than 6 months, less than a year, and you left the country, technically you cannot come back to the United States for a period of 3 years. If you lived here illegally for more than a year, you leave, technically you cannot come back for a period of 10 years. Well, in some instances, people who are under those specific areas now may qualify without using a pardon, without using a bar, without having a waiver requested. So we will talk a little bit about that in other programs, but very important that if you were told, and it's very important, we are not talking about the permanent bar. Permanent bar is you came here, you stayed here illegally for more than 1 year, you left, and then you came back again illegally. That may subject you to a permanent bar. This doesn't deal with this. This deals with a 3 or 10-year bar. So if you were told by a lawyer in the past, hey, look, you need to get a pardon, and you're like, I don't have anybody who can do pardon for me. Well, you may not need a pardon. So again, come talk to a lawyer, so we can explain further, because each case we'll have to evaluate one by one, okay? Other things, myself and some of my colleagues, we had the opportunity, every year there's this National Immigration Lawyers Association meeting. This time it was in New York. You had thousands of immigration lawyers there. And at that point, you had the head of USCIS, head of immigration. She was there talking about a few things. So I wanted to share some of the updates. Number one, immigration said that the USCIS head basically stated that they were so backlogged. They had several million cases that were backlogged. That's because they were forbidden to hire new people under Trump administration. So now they have been given the opportunity to hire, so they are hiring a whole lot of people who are now going through training, and they anticipate that they're going to basically hire enough people to start processing these cases faster. Their hope is that they are going to start getting to the normal course of a case by the end of the year. Again, knock on wood, we don't know what's actually going to happen, but that's what they're saying. So we are hoping that your case that has been stuck and you're like, why in the past this used to go faster. Hopefully they'll be able to hire enough people to kind of get these things rolling. So keep your fingers crossed. Hopefully we'll start seeing some movement. Second thing that she mentioned is because they're hiring more and more people, and again, remember, USCIS Immigration is a fee-based company. What does that mean? They hire more people and they do all this investigation, do all this based on the fees that you provide. So every time you pay immigration, that's where the fees go. So now they have to hire more people. So guess what they're going to do? You got it. They are going to increase the fees. So she has indicated that they are proposing very soon a fee increase. So if you have a case that you've been waiting on and you're saying, you know what, I'll just wait. I'll see how things go. I heard recession. I heard inflation. Maybe I'll wait. Well, the fees may go up. How much they're going to go up by, we don't know yet. But they have indicated that they fully anticipate the fees to go up, and they're going to propose that soon to Congress. So anticipate the fees to go up. So if you're waiting on something, probably best idea to do it now rather than wait and have the case filed as soon as you can. So these are just some of the quick updates for you. We also we have received some questions from a lot of our audience. They call us. So we'll try to answer a few questions. Hopefully it will make sense. And I'll do my best to get those answered for you.
Kina Martinez, when a petition case from a citizen husband to a wife living in Mexico comes out that it has been active since June 23rd, what does that mean? And after that, how long does it take to be accepted?
Okay, so Kina, a couple of things that this question doesn't clarify, but there are multiple steps when a husband files for a spouse who's living in Mexico. First step is the approval of an I-130 application. Usually that process can take several months before the I-130 is approved. Once the I-130 is approved, the case goes to a place called the National Visa Center. They will ask for more funding, they will ask for more money, and then you have to fill out more paperwork. Once that paperwork and those fees are paid, then comes the third part, which is the spouse will then have an interview with the U.S. consulate. In most instances, most likely, if you're in Mexico, that interview will be in Ciudad Juarez. Before you go to the interview, you have to do a couple of things. You have to get medical examination, you have to get background check. So at this point, the process right now can, from the time you file to the time you get something, can take a year and a half, maybe even longer. We are seeing cases that can go for 2 years. So hopefully what I talked about, getting more folks hired, that may expedite the process, but that's usually how the process goes through. USCIS approval, National Visa Center, and then the consulate. Okay?
There were 2 arrests at the border. In addition to the FOIA, you have to request some other record, or the FOIA is enough?
Well, it all depends on what you're trying to find for FOIA, right? So sometimes what we do is we just do a FBI fingerprint check and it tells us what happened. So the bigger question is, what are we trying to find on the FOIA? So if that happens, then the first thing we need to do is look at the FOIA, read in the FOIA. If it gives you the answer, like it tells you, well, you were arrested and you were deported, or you got a salida voluntaria, whatever the case may be, then FOIA may be enough in those cases. But if not, then you may have to look more. Sometimes what they do is they hide some of the information, and then you have to appeal it to get that information out. So if that happens, we may have to do more. But my recommendation is usually if there is something in the FOIA, get it reviewed by a lawyer so they have a better idea. Okay? So again, if you have any additional questions, we will do this a monthly show, and we will try to answer these questions for you in those shows. If you have something else that you want to talk to us about, please do let us know in Facebook or Facebook comments, and we'll see what we can do to help. Again, thank you very much for being part of our Facebook community. We are over 100,000 strong, so congratulations to all of you for being part of this growing community, and we are thankful for each and every one of you. We'd love to see you here. If you have any questions, 214-267-9300. Again, this is Hussein Sadruddin, and we hope to see you again next month. Take care. Bye-bye.